everybody. How are you guys doing? Thank you for helping me reach 28,000 subscribers. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. But you know what? The best way that you can support me, to be honest with you, if you see a commercial, if a commercial pops up on this video, the best way to support me, to be honest with you, is just to let it play. I know sometimes these commercials can be a little long, but if you see one, let it play. Don't skip it. Or just press the like button. That's the best way, honestly, that you can support my channel, right? Let's get into this conversation because I got to get to work, okay? Let's talk about this bag that all the rich, and I didn't say wealthy, but the rich black folk are arguing all over Shirley Caesar's Twitter about, okay? This is the Birkin bag, the coveted Birkin bag. Now, this bag looks like something that I can honestly go to like a Ross Dress for Less, a Marshall's, a Target, even a Walmart and get. And that's not shade to any of those retailers. I'm just saying that it's nothing to like write home to mama about. But apparently that bag, that red bag, retails for $65,000. Okay, that is the Birkin bag. Now, this Birkin is a brand by Hermes, and Hermes makes several bags, but the Birkin, the particular Birkin, is the one that a lot of people have been talking about. That's the one that a lot of people have just been like, oh my gosh, Birkin, Birkin, Birkin. Every time you turn around, Birkin, Birkin, Birkin. It's become so like nauseating to hear like these celebrities arguing over Birkins, but it's been going on. Now, this is Nicki Minaj with her Birkin, but this was back in 2014, okay? Just most recently over the last, I guess, year or so, it's become a thing with like the hip hop community and the celebrities and stuff like that. But Birkins they've been a thing. Now, if you are a Sex and the City connoisseur like myself, you might remember Birkins back in the day, okay? Samantha and Carrie were window shopping in Hermes. And Samantha saw this bag. It was a Birkin bag. You see, she looking at it. She wanted this bag. Okay, she had to have it. Now, you remember Sex and the City was all about fashion. It was about status symbols. They lived in New York. Naturally, if you had one of these bags, you were in. So Samantha thought she could just walk into the Hermes store and like, oh, give me one Birkin. And the dude was like, not so fast. It's $4,000. That wasn't nothing to Samantha, right? But then he was like, yeah, it's a waiting list, 5 years. Okay. So eventually, if you watch the episode, you know that Samantha kind of wormed her way, knew people. She got her bag. But the truth of the matter is they are just that exclusive. And there is a waiting list for them, which has a lot to do with the fact that people are questioning how all of these Instagram celebrities are now getting their hands on these bags. Okay. So before we kind of get into like the whole argument all over online, like I said, on Shirley Caesar's internet, I know people say Beyonce's internet, but I like to just say other people's internet, Kirk Franklin internet, okay? Maxwell's internet. Before we get into that argument that broke out between the rich folks, the rich black folks, because they the black people, the white people is not arguing over this shit. Let's get into the whole like history of the bag. Now, Birkin, the Birkin bag is actually named for Jane Birkin, okay, which was, I guess she was like some kind of singer or actress or whatever she was, right? She was a white woman. And I was on Business Insider. I read this story on Business Insider, which gave me a little bit of kind of like a backstory as to why this bag is so goddamn exclusive. Like, fancy, fancy, fancy. All right, so Jane Birkin was known for carrying a wicker basket wherever she went and used it for everything from groceries to diapers. So I'm reading to y'all guys. When she tried to fit her famous basket in the overhead compartment, the lid came off, spilling the contents everywhere. Jane complained to her seatmate that it was impossible to find a weekend bag she liked. And Dumas introduced himself as the head of Hermes, and the pair spent the flight sketching possible handbag designs on the back of an airplane sick bag. A year later, Dumas presented Jane with the Birkin Bag, a spacious yet sophisticated leather design perfect for everyday use. The Birkin pockets made it highly functional, and the bag seals to prevent anything from spilling. Hermes makes the bags in France using premium materials like calf skin, alligator skin, and even ostrich skin. And each bag is made entirely by hand. Okay, it says, although Birkins are one of the most exclusive and sought-after bags today, they actually weren't all that popular when they first launched, which was like in the early, 1983, 1984, somewhere in there. It wasn't until the 90s that the Birkin bag became one of the it bags of the era, and now they're the ultimate status symbol. Victoria Beckham reportedly has a collection of over 100 Birkins, estimated to be worth over $2 million. Okay, and it says, but you just can't walk into Hermes and get one. While there used to be a wait list, nowadays all you can do is hope to be important enough or spend enough to be offered a Birkin bag. And if you're offered one, don't expect to be able to choose the color or size. And they also place limits on how many Birkin bags a client can purchase a year. This dedication to preserving the exclusivity of the bag has certainly paid off, and the disparity in demand and access has created a thriving resale market. Now, a 2017 study revealed that the value of Hermes Birkin bags has increased 500% in the last 35 years, an increase of 14% per year. So that bag that we saw Samantha with, if she had paid $4,000 for it, she could resell it for far more than that, because that's kind of where it's at as far as how people are probably more than likely getting their bags are resellers. I pulled this off of a resale website. I pulled this off of a resale website where they basically are reselling them, but they can upcharge because they are so coveted right now. And I'm sure the person that this is an authorized reseller, I'm sure they're making buku money, right? I'm sure they're making a hell of a lot of money because of these celebrities that just gotta have one, right? Now, one of the most expensive Birkins actually sold for $500,000. Okay, but like I said, you can't just walk into Hermes and say, I'll have one of those. You can't do that. You cannot absolutely do that. It says, another reason for the bag's high price, of course, is the limited availability. The total number of Birkin bags Hermes produces each year is a well-guarded secret, but it's estimated that there may be around 200,000 bags in circulation. Okay? And so, again, a lot of these bags go to resellers and they just up the price on them, right? Which, again, rich people shit. Most of us just can't really even have this conversation, or should be having this conversation. But it was just kind of interesting to me because, these people out here just having full-fledged arguments over this goddamn bag. And a lot of this came from the fact that over the last, couple of months or so, you've had these Instagram celebrities, these rappers and stuff, they're having their little birthday parties, and all of a sudden, and they open their bag, and there it is. It's a Birkin bag. And so a lot of folks were questioning, if they're so exclusive, how are Instagram celebrities getting them? Right? There's regular A-list people can't just walk in and necessarily get a bag because, again, they are handmade. It's not just something that you can walk in and get. And so a lot of people, including Yaya Mayweather. Now, Yaya Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather's daughter. So you can imagine that this girl pretty much grew up in wealth, right? And you know how extravagant Floyd Mayweather is. And so when people were opening their presents all over line, you had all these different celebrities like, yeah, I got a Birkin. Oh my God. You had Sweetie come out recently and said, if if your man don't get you a Birkin, then you know he don't love you. Or, you know, kind of dumb shit like that. I think that there was more to her what she said. I don't think that she meant it as simple as that. But she did say it, and it did go viral. But when all these pseudo celebrities, these rappers were coming out with their Birkins, Yaya Mayweather basically decided to speak up and basically say, y'all fake. Y'all really, somebody lying. Somebody lying, because everybody can't be out here with a Birkin bag. Somebody is not telling the truth, because my own daddy, okay, who got millions and millions and millions of dollars, can't just walk in. You got to be on a list. You got to be a part of a membership like Sam's Club. I don't know. But basically, she was basically calling out the fakeness of it. Even Lil Yachty basically called out some of the fakeness and said, some of y'all is lying. Some of y'all are seriously lying, because Hermes ain't out here just letting anybody and everybody buy these ugly ass bags. Now, again, that's just my opinion. Some of you guys might think it's cute. It's cute if I was to buy this at a Target, right? They kind of look like a Sophia Petrillo bag to me. Picture it, Sicily, 1918. But, you know, to each his own. Like I said, I just feel like this is something that I could seriously go to Target and Marshalls and Ross and get and pay about $40 and be just as happy. And I couldn't tell you if it's fake or it's not fake. I really don't give a damn, and most of us really shouldn't care if it's fake or not fake. But apparently the rich people know the difference, apparently, right? So like I said, Yaya was calling out the people and basically saying, y'all out here faking the funk. Now, somebody ain't got a real bag, and I'm just telling you, somebody out here faking, and somebody ain't got no real bag. That's basically what she was telling the people, right? And it is just because it caused an entire uproar about what's real and what's not real. And then Offset and Cardi B got into the conversation, and Cardi B started showing off her bags, and Offset was basically coming out here and saying, I mean, it was just, people was literally arguing back and forth. Here's Yaya. She said, wait a minute, this is getting out of hand, y'all. I'm starting to see too many people on this app with Birkins, like they just some regular bags that you can just go buy. Some of these Birkins got to be fake. And I'm not saying everybody. Okay, I ain't trying to be funny, but you just can't walk in the Hermes store and buy the Birkin. You have to be like a member to buy them. And two, even if you are a member, you can only buy so many a year. And I know this because my daddy got to go overseas to buy them. And like I said, folks was in their feelings about her saying that. They felt like she was shading all the girls that was on the internet, which she very well could have been shading all the girls that was all over the internet. But like I said, most recently, Offset and Cardi B, because you know Cardi B cannot stay away from she just cannot. She gotta respond to everything. You that's the Cardi B way. Cardi B just can never not be unbothered. She got to always be bothered. So Offset was apparently bothered too, because he said, stop letting people on the internet tell y'all who can get a Birkin at the store and how many Birkins you can get. Black people having access to luxury shouldn't be a debate. By the way, hip hop starts the trends. Now, some of those, look how big those bags are. They just had to show off their Birkins. By the way, Cardi B, don't touch your face no more, girl. Don't touch your face no more. But nonetheless, and some of those are actually not Birkins. One of those at the front with the H on it, that's not a Birkin. That's a Hermes, but that's not a Birkin bag. But nonetheless, here's the thing. These is rich people things, right? If they want to sit here and argue about it and they got the money, Birkins are actually an investment. So to be fair, they buying these bags, but they do have a good resale value, right? They do have a great resale value. So again, you can actually go to a reputable reseller and buy the bag if you want to. You can do that. If you want to get upcharged, they want to pay $10,000, $20,000. That's fine. This is rich people conversations. They can do that. My issue with all this mess, is that while they sit here and making Hermes rich, which they probably don't even want, remember, they want to be exclusive. They don't want all these black folks. So they're like, oh my God, they are fucking up our exclusivity with just talking about that. They're going to make it worth nothing, right? Because everybody want one. The Negroes want it now. So now everybody want one. And now it's not as exclusive as it once was. It's not as elusive of a bag as it once was. And now, here we go. That's how I feel like Hermes is treating this. Now the resellers are probably loving it because they are probably making money because people are trying to get a $20,000 bag just from such foolishness. It's really $10,000, but again, the resellers can upcharge if they want to. My problem with what Offset said, he's not wrong. Yes, black people can have luxury items, but here's my thing: why not do that for a black brand? Why make these white people even more rich? They really don't need your money. They was doing just fine. Okay, they're doing fine. How about you take a brand that is black owned and turn it and make it a trend? Since hip hop do set the trend. It's true. He's right. Hip hop do set the trend. How about doing that for a black owned brand? Teflar is a black owned brand that makes bags. Okay. And I went to the Teflar website, and it's a luxury brand, right? It's a luxury high-end brand. The most expensive bag on their site is about $258. But I think that's just that, that's accessible. They are making it accessible. Now, you can't just walk in and get one too, because those are handmade too. So you have to wait a few months to get the bag. They're trying to make it accessible but exclusive. But the problem here, I think, with these new age celebrities is that it just don't cost enough. Accessibility equals poor people shit in, these pseudo Instagram celebrity people, where they think that, if I pay $10,000 for a Sophia Petrillo bag, then I'm more important than everybody. I'm better than you. When the truth of the matter is, these bags just look regular. They just look regular. But if you go in and you get a Teflar, which again is a black-owned brand, you can help a black-owned business. You can make them, trend. And you would be doing, and instead of saying Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff and saying you black owned this, blah, 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 this is Teflar. You could actually mean it, right? Again, these bags, $257, the most expensive one. But again, people don't be really meaning what they say. This is too cheap for them. And this is too accessible. And if everybody can have it, then they don't want it. They don't want it, right? But if this was like $20,000 and they only had a few, they'd be showing them off. They'd be wearing them. Every time you saw, they'd be wearing them. But again, this black-owned luxury brand is too cheap for them. It's just too cheap. And that's just my take on the whole thing. Again, this out my tax bracket. It's kind of interesting to watch the rich black people
Big
fight
Mama
over
finally got married.
These bags, because they just, again, these are the Teflars, by the way. These bags just ain't worth the fight. But, again, to each his own. They got the money. They do actually increase in value. So they have made good investments, but I would probably just buy some property and call it a day, right? But I ain't going to sit here and wag my finger at them because that's what they're doing. They will be able to resell them for some nice amount of money, unless they got them from a reseller, right? Because Yaya ain't wrong, y'all. Yaya, she not wrong. People hating on her, but she wasn't wrong. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this whole conversation. Do you think that people just doing too much for these goddamn bags? A Birkin bag. I couldn't tell you if it was a Birkin or not, right? I don't give a damn if it's fake, if it's real. How